You know, the V bounces have been outrageous, so you need to protect yourself. And you can enter the market any place you want as long as you're disciplined, and if you're wrong, take your stop out. You could short a low, you could buy a high, as long as you're willing to take your stop out when you're wrong. And the problem becomes in a market like this that once we start to roll over, then you have to chase lower lows and you know, short small bounces, and that's not a long-term strategy that plays out very well. So the most important thing that I'm still reading in is probably seeing the structure. You know, we said we had to take this out to rescue these traders, which we did, and now if you're looking over here, you can see where this launch came from yesterday. 76 is our angel. And unless we continue on the short side, you know, and take this low out, this fellow Verneman, very smart trader, I respect him, and I understand, you know, a little bit about profile, but not like he does. And I'm going to say this: most importantly, a side has to keep making its case. So we know that this has failed yet again up here. We said the other day we didn't want to see 93 broken. Well, they broke it today, but marginally still was not able to take out this 94 zone. And so the shorts can read into this pattern that we still have a lower highs, but we don't have a lower low until we do. So that's going to become an important part of trading in the next few days. Right? Because here's the pattern: lower highs, and then this was the lower low. So we jackrabbited overnight in low volume, but then, you know, big boys came in and said, where do you think you're going? And we come right back to test this launch. So this is not detrimental to the shorts cause that we had this bounce. In fact, this is pretty good substantiation that if you had the courage to short the bounce and play for a normal trade like the gap, half gap trade, then when you take out the overnight low, that's where the juice comes from. Taking in rescue mesh in these traders. So, you know, I'm interpreting this as a good sign for the shorts, but we said they cannot be complacent. We can't just leave it in the middle there in that 85 zone. The shorts need to press their case, and we have not had a lot of that offense. So being options X, I'm again going to say I like the fact that this is rolled over. I like the fact that I think timing, we need a pullback. And I've said all along that all these, you know, longs who are cackling because they've been bailed out, you know, for the last 4 years, one day they're going to be very wrong. So you can't just average in. You can't, a day like today, you know, you can't say, so what, 91, I'll buy 91. Oops, all right, they'll bail me out at 87. All right, so 85. I'll buy 82. You know, I mean, that's a recipe for disaster, especially with a small account. You know, big guys like Don Miller, they say they like to play that way, fine. I like to be more accurate. You know, we already know the primary resistance zone. Either this holds or it doesn't. I said once we get up here above this 97, we can go any place. So far, that's still intact. Problem for the short side is that there's not been a lot of offense backwards either. That's been the dilemma. So if you draw a trend line and you say, okay, you know, fine, I get it. You know, we've got that. You can see where we've got some, you know, some traders are going to look to see these kind of resistance zones. Say, all right, fine. You know, you were here yesterday. You're here now in overnight volume. Let's play a regression trade. And you never know. The trailers are what win in this business. At least that's the way I see it. You know, you get on the scoreboard and you get to where you want to go, and then okay. And if you step out like I do, you know, around news time, then you get back in and say, okay, it looks like we're coming this way to test support. So IB low is here. I think the best posture for now is to consider it defensively that this is our resistance, yesterday's high zone, this 87, 88, just like yesterday. And for more short side, we need to break yesterday's RTH low, the launch pad. And then we need to come down here and take out this low too, the 75. And I think that's a tall order right now. After 11 o'clock, I think we'll bounce into this 84 zone. And then let's see what happens. This 85 zone here where we trap traders. Because this was support, right? This 83 zone, and turn it around, add a point or so on top of it, and it should be the aggressive resistance. That's very aggressive too, by the way. And that's part of the problem in this game. You start chasing too low and then, okay, fine, you got me. I was too aggressive. So most important, lock up something from the short that we called early. Let's nibble short side and hope we get back towards that half gap and gap. And the rest of this is the gravy part. And truthfully, I'm going to be the first to admit it. I did not think we'd get here this easily. But I do know the targets, and that's the point of pre-market going through stuff. Saying, all right, if we do this, then this is our next target. We'd already identified this area as our next target, step by step. And that's part of trading. Being prepared, and then seeing. Remember that story I was telling you guys the other day when I was coming home on that windy road, and all of a sudden there was, cops had stopped cars there and sent us over the hills and through the woods on a dirt path there and lost an hour. I mean, that's the reality of life. That's trading. There's going to be detours. There's going to be things that you have to deal with, and you have a base plan in mind, and then you have to zig and zag. And when you know where your high value areas are, then you don't want to be guilty of being too greedy in that zone. So I'm thinking primarily right now, the conservative resistance zone. Obviously, the 93 is the day's demon and our truer resistance. But I'm thinking this 88, yesterday's high area, is going to be a key now. And I said this morning, 91. Remember I said 91 shaping up to be very critical idea. Should be a pivotal idea today, I said. Guess what? Didn't break it. Okay, you got an angel right here trying to hold, got shaken out, so you've got to go back and use this one now, 82. 82 versus 93. And we are after 11 o'clock. Just keep an eye on time. The boys have made progress by trapping aggressive shorts and squeezing them backwards. Here's your RTH chart. Keep an eye on it.